What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? And another entertaining day. After the past couple of days, I've talked about the rates and the whole Powell situation. And Powell essentially came on for 2 days in a row talking about how he was not going to raise rates. Well, the market loved that. But apparently, overnight, they slept on it, they digested it, and they didn't like it today. But being said, before we get started, remember to hit the like button and subscribe if you haven't done so already. So, the market, where do we stand? Tomorrow is Friday, and it is the end of the month. So, if you want to blame it on the bond yields, currently right now are extremely high. I think you can definitely see it in TLT. But with that being said, let's just go ahead and pull up the charts today, since tomorrow is Friday, and considering that I'm actually recording this right after the bell at 4:30 Eastern Standard Time. So I just wanted to get my opinion, my initial thoughts of the day, and then kind of put it out there because I made a lot of adjustments on my position. I took some positions today. I took them right off. I've taken some other positions right off. I think right now all I'm holding is shares at the current moment. A lot of my leaps, I took hits on those, although the positions weren't massive. Again, that's how I manage my risk is through position size. Typically, depending on the kind of play that I'm playing, again, if I'm in commons and it gets to a specific price point, I typically throw in stops at that point. Just all depending. Again, I make my moves based off the way the market is moving in the current moment. Right now, I did not like anything about the market, especially because we rebounded. I felt confident about that all it would take was Powell to come on and reiterate what he's already been saying. He did that and we came bouncing right back. But again, we fell off. Again, inflation. It does not help that every social media outlet is still talking about a crash, is still just pounding away about inflation after Powell just essentially, again, reiterated to everybody, it's not that big of a deal. Everything is looking good. It still just continued to sell off today. But being said, I think the housing numbers came out again today as well, and those I believe were bad. So I think that's what initially started the sell-off. But being said, like I said, I liquidated a lot of my positions. I didn't like this move down. And as you can see, the market, again, is holding. It's actually holding below this trend line, although this is the 1 hour, so it really doesn't matter. What's going to matter is a higher time frame. So ultimately tomorrow, how we go overnight is really going to tell us the direction. I don't believe we're in a bear market. People keep talking about a bear market. I just don't see that. I think, again, the next 2 weeks, let me throw this in here first. I'm saying that over the next 2 months, right, if something does not come of the stimulus, Powell's even gone on to say that the numbers are fantastic. Everything is fantastic, right? Unemployment, everything going back to normal levels, right? Essentially back where last March was before the pandemic. Being said, again, people are still worried about inflation and everything else. Again, bond yields are rising, which is a big concern because that means rate raises need to take in effect. But again, Powell has reiterated he's not going to raise rates. He's just not going to do it. So being said, we are seeing that, I think, play on the market and why we're having these wicks and back and forth in this battle about what is going on. Because if you look at the market where it's sitting right now, again, we didn't make a lower low, which is a good sign if you count the wick. But ultimately, TLT's been playing this battle all day. And what concerned me about selling today was the fact that this candle here that turned into a wick within a matter of seconds. It didn't take long today. So that being watched, the bond yields essentially is what's causing this to sell off and not allowing it to pick back up. But it is the end of the month. There's rotation. There's a lot of things going on right now. So I think it's hard to really tell what is going on here, to be honest. It could be, I couldn't give you an honest answer at this point, but ultimately I liquidated everything because if for some reason the bonds get out of control, the market's going to follow right along with it. And that is my concern. So that's why I liquidated everything. Most of everything. I still do have the Very Good Butcher and Planter. I still have those. Everything else, again, I took some positions today. I took them off. I did sell AMC today for profits. I lost some of it yesterday because it pumped to over, I think, 250% yesterday, and then today it was down just from crossing over. So I held it a little bit at open, looking for a pump back. Tried to pump back a little bit, and that's when I sold because I could tell it wasn't holding. WWE, I captured pretty much that whole run on those leaps. I believe it got up to 51, and then I cashed in those. So being said, those were good. I captured those, and then again, I didn't like where the market was going, and I was surprised that they were actually holding up. So that convinced me another reason to get out of those positions again and reposition myself and waiting. Right, again, Very Good Butcher. It doesn't so much get affected by the market, and again, it's a lower cap, so it protects it again a little bit better, I think, in my opinion, and the fact of the industry that it is in. Helps, right, with all this other stuff that is going on right now. I think rates and all that stuff is affecting QQQ and all that stuff and holding it down. But I really want to watch these bonds. And I think tomorrow, what my ultimate plan is just to watch. I really want to see what happens with these bonds in the overall market. What I do believe, what I can see happening, if we do go back, even the metals are selling off. Bitcoin will sell. I sold all my AMC and I jumped into Bitcoin right up here, and then it ended up selling off. So I ended up cutting that break even today. But Tesla and everything is still holding well. Square, I actually jumped into Square on this push up, and then I cut out when it came back down. Again, I wasn't liking the market. I thought we were going to bounce and recover. That was just a relief bounce, essentially what that was. So ultimately, an Airbnb, they had a horrible earnings. I expected that. I like seeing this, and I really want this. So I'm trying to watch this tomorrow. If it actually comes down to 160 tomorrow, I'll see how the market reacts. But this is one I do want to get into. If I might actually get into shares of this if it does come down to 160. Again, I want to see how the market reacts. Apple, everything. There was a point though where everything kind of turned this morning and started like pushing. It was right out of the gate, and I thought, oh, that was it. Right? Powell came on, he laid down the law, and everything was good. Again, people must have completely forgot what his conversation that he had yesterday, and then the ball just dropped. Maybe we could have seen that in previous days as. On Tuesday, we originally came out, we sold off pretty hard. And then if you look at the market, what it was today, Thursday, Wednesday, Tuesday, before he originally came on, the market sank hard because of they were waiting on Powell. He reassured everybody, it came back up, and then he was talking again. Market sold off. Again, reassurance, everything came back up, but no Powell today, so just sell off. But being said, I think the biggest thing is just to watch tomorrow. I still believe we're still in a strong market period, right? We're still on a very strong market. Again, Black Swan could be no stimulus or a cutback of stimulus. He can promise whatever he wants to promise, but ultimately, the biggest thing here to remember. Actually, BYND had earnings today. I didn't even notice that. I want that at 110, but nonetheless, we're gonna have to see. I mean, the bonds is a tricky game, right? There's a lot that comes into place with the bonds. It's not really easy to assess that most of the time. So we're gonna have to see how that plays out. Again, right now I'm just sitting and waiting. Once we get ultimate direction, I still feel like there's going to be a huge bull market coming up, but it's just kind of letting things play out and stuff kind of settle, let the dust settle a little bit before I jump back into positions and start moving forward. Again, not every day is a trading day. I think I've taken some extra trades that I probably should have laid off because I know in my mind that there's going to be a massive run here, but it's trying to just let it show its true colors before we actually take another position. Spot was one I cut really early today. When it was holding up here, I cut this one. I cut a lot of positions early this morning just because of what was going on. Etsy looks like it rocked earnings. Disney selling off. You see a lot of the tech is just kind of slowly. Tech isn't really dying. It's slowly. I mean, tech has already taken a massive hit, so a lot of this tech isn't dying very bad. It's actually doing quite well. Planet 13 still holding up well. I do want to get back in this if it does come back down. I've missed it a couple different times. I haven't set an order just because I kind of want to watch it when it does hit. It tends to hit when everything else hits. Very good company. I'm still in this one. I actually gapped up really nice today and then sold back off, but that is one I'm holding again for the year. I really like that one. I want to let that one play out. I think more what we're going to see over the next couple of months with the very good company is really going to play out. And then I'll reassess that position at that point. Let's see. CRNT, yeah, tech. I've noticed a lot of the renewables and stuff have been kind of holding up really, really well. And some of them are actually still pushing. EMPH pushed up yesterday and is holding really well again. Bluebird is just, it must have been a contract come through on that one, is what my guess is on that one. Walmart was one I wanted to take. I did take this and ended up cutting this. I would like to try to get back into Walmart, but again, I want things to settle. I want good market direction again before I start jumping back into things. Again, you got to be adjustable on how you play these things. So yeah, being said, like I said, when I come into these positions, I always manage my risk going into it to my conviction level on the market. First of all, I now analyze the market, right? What is the market sentiment? And that kind of plays into my conviction in the thing and then into the market in general, or into my position size. And then at that point, it goes into the fundamentals of the company and my conviction on that company. And then that's how it helps me essentially gauge, again, the positions I do take. So again, I talked about earlier in the month that, I mean, this was the time that I thought there would be some kind of correction. It is happening. I did start jumping into some positions a little too early, expecting a bounce more sooner because I started to see a little bit of a bounce. But being said, I mean, it does happen, right? You're not going to be 100% on these things. Again, we're trying to win the war and not the battle. It's better to reposition yourself. Again, if you're an investor, invest, don't touch it, whatever the case is. But I am an active investor right now. I don't like the conditions I'm in. I'm going to take stuff out, liquidate, reposition myself, and then go back at it stronger this time. But being said, yeah, everything is actually Workhorse. Got a little bit of pump towards the end of the day. I guess they're challenging the contract. That was some news that came out. I'm trying to see here. I might as well talk about AMC. Yeah, I had that nice pump yesterday. I was up nice on this. I think I was over 250 before the close. Obviously screamed up way past that, and then it dove down. When I came back up here, I actually sold it, sold my AMC contract. I wasn't liking, everything was just dying off slowly, and so I just ended up selling that one today. WWE, I actually played this one perfectly today. It was pumping. I sold around, I want to say it was around 150-ish is where I sold. It was really struggling up here on this candle. And then I didn't like the sentiment of the market was changing. I didn't like that considering this was so high at the moment. So I did sell those 2 leaps out of that. I took, I think, like a 54% profit on that, on those leaps that I had. And then that died out. So that was good timing on that one. Again, why it's always good to be able to read the market, read the candlesticks, see what's going on. AMC, GME also dumped today, which is quite funny. So Tilray, I ended up selling this sleeve too. Like I said, I sold essentially pretty much almost all my positions. I do have some commons. Like I said, they're my high conviction, very good company is one of my high conviction stocks. And I'm just in commons in that one. So being said, I'm not too worried about that one. And then Pellet Planter is also one I'm holding. I do like this one. My position in this one is actually pretty small. I did have I had a leap in this that I did sell, but my commons I didn't sell any of those because my position in commons wasn't really that big. So as this does at all sell off, I will definitely be actually adding to this position slowly. But at this point, I want more of a confirmation. I want to get more of a confirmation. I'll add more to this. And again, for Tesla is still holding well. I think once all this stuff blows over, Tesla's really going to take off. Again, Cathie Wood bought a ton of Tesla on these dips. But being said, we're going to have to see how this the whole bond market plays out and everything. But so tomorrow, again, ultimately, we're just looking for I'm trying to fill out the market, right? I'm not trying to really look at new positions, although I do really want Airbnb. I want to see how the market is playing. I want to see where the bonds are at. I want to see where the market's looking at. VIX, gold, all those things, QQQ. QQQ has been hammered down really hard lately. So I think once that actually reverses is when we're going to see this big bull run along with everything else, especially with the rates remaining low, unless there's some emergency thing that goes out where they raise rates or something. I don't really see that happening, but ultimately, that's pretty much what I got. So remember to hit the like button and subscribe if you haven't done so already. And until next time, guys, be safe, manage risk, and I'll see you guys later.